Vice President of the Republic of the New Gambia, Excellency Madam Aja Fatoumatta Jallow-Tambajang, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to seize this momentous occasion to welcome you all to the grand opening of the airport new cargo complex by Her Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia, Madam Aja Fatoumatta Jallow-Tambajang, as part of events marking our 53rd Independence Anniversary celebrations. The Gambia has indeed come a long way today as we celebrate our nationhood. We are all keenly optimistic that the good things will happen to us. In that light, we pray that God the Almighty continue to shower His blessings on our dear motherland. Before proceeding, I would like to give a brief synopsis of the project we are about to open today. That is the new airport cargo complex project housed at the premises of the Gambia International Airlines, GIA, at the Banjul International Airport. Can you please put your hands together, thunderstorm, for a loud applause for GIA. The airport cargo complex, supported by the Enhanced Integrated Framework, EIF, under the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Employment, has been necessitated to facilitate regional trade among ECOWAS member states. You will all bear witness with me that the Gambia receives huge numbers of traders, mainly from neighboring countries, with a lot of cargo coming through the airport. Due to this large volume of cargo, storage posed a big constraint and made the smooth and effective delivery of services very challenging, hence the commissioning of the cargo complex project to ease the process. The Gambia's trade policies are classified as relatively open, leading to its position as an important trading center in West Africa. Its economy is heavily reliant on groundnut, cashew, and the horticulture export, tourism, fisheries, agro-industries, and the re-export trade. However, the Gambia intends to diversify its export base as articulated in the National Export Strategy to move away from primary production to secondary production through value addition. Specifically, the Gambia aims to strengthen participation in the regional and the global markets by creating the foundation for improved value addition and processing in key sectors of the economy to stimulate growth and employment for sustained poverty reduction. The overall objective of the project is therefore to increase national participation in international trading system by stimulating the local economy and contribute to improve livelihoods in the tourism, horticulture, fisheries, and other related sectors of the economy. It is envisaged that the state-of-the-art airport cargo complex will provide trade facilitation and the reinforced logistics infrastructure and services at the Banjul International Airport through improved institutional agreements, building human capacity, and providing support services to ensure transparent, secured, and competitive airport services are available to exporters and the smallholder businesses at all times, which invariably will increase the volume of trade and the air traffic at the Banjul International Airport. The current political climate ushered in as a result of changes in the political landscape has phenomenally increased investor confidence in the country, which is envisaged to trigger the unprecedented flow of foreign direct investment, which will in turn lead to create more of jobs and better income, thereby improve living standards of the citizenry. The recent launching of the country's development blueprint, the national development plans, has adequately captured the aspirations and the priority of government spearheaded by President Barrow. We are all optimistic that with President Barrow, the Gambia will attain unprecedented growth and height in development as yearned by the citizenry. I don't intend to bore you with a long statement. Mine was just to make the opening remarks and welcome you all to this important event and hope that this project will be among many more of its kind to be launched by government in the near future. I cannot conclude by specifically thanking our donors, EIF, for the support rendered in actualizing this project and all those who participated in its realization. I thank you all for your kind attention. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I now welcome the Managing Director for Gambia International Airlines for his statement.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia, Aja Fatoumatta Jallow-Tambajang, the Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly, my Lord the Chief Justice, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, the Honorable Secretary General and Head of the Civil Service, Honorable Cabinet Ministers, the representatives of the EIF Board and Executive Secretariat, permanent secretaries and heads of institutions and parastatals present, distinguished service chiefs, members of the National Assembly, the regional governors, Board of Directors, Gambia International Airlines, chiefs and Alkalolu of West Coast Region, management and staff of all the institutions operating at Banjul International Airport, the community of Mandinaring, Lameng, Banjulunding, Yundum, and Busumbala. They are out colorfully. And when I mention the community of Yundum, I am now compelled to recognize the presence of the former Director General of the Gambia Civil Aviation Authority, Mr. Fansu Bojang. Mr. Bojang, as we all know, is a veteran as far as aviation and air transport industry is concerned. Many of us who are in the industry today, he groomed us, he mentored us, and we are still learning from him. We thank him for gracing our occasion. Now, I have to also recognize the presence of Mr. Jaliba Kuyate and the Kumare Band. Jaliba has decided to come and give us entertainment, you won't believe, free of charge. The media, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, all other protocols duly and respectfully observed. Good morning. On behalf of Board of Directors, Management, and staff of GCAA and GIA, I sincerely welcome you to this inaugural ceremony of the GIA Cargo Complex. Cargo operation is a part of the business activities of Gambia International Airlines. At a particular point in time, management made an assessment of our cargo activities in terms of cargo infrastructure and operational system. The result of our stock taking was that our cargo system of operation and infrastructure at hand were indeed below international standard. In this regard, Your Excellency, management thought it timely to get the requisite infrastructure and operating system in place. A business plan was developed and submitted to the EIF through the Ministry of Trade for funding. With the help of the ministry, an amount of $2.5 million was granted by the EIF for the project. And out of this amount, $1.8 million was allocated to GIA to put up this complex and equip it. The balance of the grant was allocated to all components of the project, such as training, that is capacity building, and marketing of the facility. I would like all of you to join me in thanking the EIF. EIF has not been sponsoring infrastructure projects of this nature. The Gambia is the first country to benefit from such a project. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, this complex occupies an area of 840 square meters with a capacity to handle 60 tons of shipment with 2 cold rooms to store perishable items waiting to be airlifted. The facility also provides office space for GIA, GCAA, and GRA staff. In our industry, safety and security are 2 issues that are closely watched. To ensure cargo leaving the country is safe on board, the project bought a scanning machine from Rapid Scan, and at the time of its installation, it is the second of its kind in our sub-region. In addition to the scanner, the cargo complex has 10 security cameras, 4 of which are rotational at a resolution point of 360 degrees. The other 6 are non-rotational. 3 new forklifts are also at hand. As stated earlier, Capacity building is another component of the project. A good number of GIA and GCAA staff were trained to acquire skills needed to operationalize the cargo facility. From today, people working in the horticulture and fisheries subsectors will have the opportunity to freight their produce to the international market, notably to EU and US markets. Our charges for the use of this facility will undoubtedly encourage exporters to increase on their level of production and export their produce to outside markets profitably. The project aims at stimulating economic activities in the country while facilitating trade between the Gambia and the outside world. It stands to generate employment for the youth and women. To conclude, I take this opportunity to thank the government under the able leadership of His Excellency, Mr. Adama Barrow, for creating the enabling environment for conduct of business. We can never thank enough the Ministries of Trade and Works and the EIF for the support given throughout the construction of the complex. Our thanks go to the contractor of this complex, Torodo Builders, Mr. Sheikh Omar Jigo and his entire team. The same appreciation is hereby extended to our able consultant, Mr. Marco Marino. The beautiful design of this complex undoubtedly comes from Mr. Marino. The construction of the access road to this complex was given to GIA Enterprise, and it was beautifully executed. Of course, with project works, sometimes it's never easy. You will realize that the managing director, the consultant, and the contractor, sometimes they don't talk to each other. But it is all geared towards ensuring that we have something that is very good for our country. We also wish to highlight the guidance and support of our board of directors. Your Excellency, I wish to point out that the board of directors and management of GIA are complementing your government's effort in women empowerment. Currently, the positions of Director of Finance, Director of Operations, and Director of Commerce are occupied by 3 qualified, capable ladies. Anna Awa Aminata, can you rise, please? Yes, we have Director of Commerce and Director of Operations. The Finance Director is on her annual leave. Before taking my seat, I wish to point out the good job done by the local consultants. That is combination of talents from the Ministries of Works, Trade, GCAA, and GIA, who worked with the international consultant in putting up the structure. I am also grateful to the senior management of GIA, EPM, and Mr. Whelan for wonderfully organizing this event. I thank you all for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, MD. I now call on the Director General of Gambia Civil Aviation Authority to the podium.
Your Excellency, the Vice President, Aja Fatoumatta Jallow-Tambajang, Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Cabinet Ministers, National Assembly members, members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I have the singular honor to address you on this auspicious occasion of the inauguration of the ultra-modern cargo complex at Banjul International Airport to be operated by Gambia International Airlines. We are extremely grateful to government on the enhanced integrated framework, in particular for the support in establishing this much-needed airport infrastructure. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the air cargo industry has come up with a campaign dubbed Air Cargo Makes It Happen, in view of the important role it plays in the global economy. The industry, which carries just 0.5% of goods transported globally, accounts for 34.6% of total revenue collected annually on goods worldwide. And this represents about $5 trillion US. The industry is also projected to outpace passenger traffic growth in certain parts of the world. Therefore, this cargo complex, which has all the features that meet international standards and requirements, could not have come at a more opportune time for us as an airport operator and civil aviation authority, as well as the Gambia as a country. As we continue to pursue our dream of making Banjul International Airport a hub, it is critical that such infrastructure is in place considering the trajectory of growth we envisage for the airport. The complex will also make us more competitive in terms of cargo handling and transport, since this is the preferred mode of transportation for perishable and high-valued goods. Your Excellencies, Honorable Ministers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is one thing developing a cargo complex and another for the transport of the volumes of cargo expected to be processed in the facility. Therefore, the need for a fully functional home-based Gambian carrier to complement this contemporary cargo edifice cannot be overstated. I wish to encourage government to effusively support the establishment of a Gambian-based airline, which will not only help tremendously in transporting goods processed here, but will also further open up the Gambian economy. It is an open secret. It is an open secret that a vibrant home-based carrier positively contributes to the socio-economic advancement of a country. A few cases in point are Dubai in the UAE and Singapore, small and relatively poor countries years ago, where successful home-based carriers, Emirates and Singapore Airlines respectively, have succeeded in opening up their countries to trade, tourism, etc., leading to rapid social and economic development within a short span of time. The example of these two big global players is a solid illustration of the cliché: a country may be physically small, but can be a big state. Your Excellencies, if the Gambia is to exploit the opportunities presented by this state-of-the-art cargo complex, we must also continue to collaborate in order to produce integrated solutions. In this regard, I wish to urge government and other relevant stakeholders to continue working with GIA so that we can reap the enormous benefits of this complex, which will consequently have positive effects on the country's air transport and trade industries, as well as the economy as a whole. Furthermore, considering the evolving nature of threats to global aviation and the stringent requirements regarding cargo security, this complex will not only avail Banjul International Airport opportunities for enhanced processing, leading to efficiency of cargo handling operations, it will also ensure that we maintain a high level of safety and security in line with our international obligations. This is crucial in our bid to stay connected to the world in the area of air transport. Finally, I wish to thank the Managing Director of GIA and his team for the partnership and support over the years. The establishment of this complex is a clear testimony of their commitment to the actualization of the Banjul International Airport hub vision. We will continue to create the right enabling environment at the airport as we complement government's efforts in promoting the development of air transport in the Gambia. On that note, I wish to thank you all for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Director General, Gambia Civil Aviation Authority. Now call on the Board Chairman, Gambia International Airlines, GIA, to the podium.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي وشكر الله كثيرا. Your Excellency, Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia, Aja Fatoumatta Jallow-Tambajang, my Lord Chief Justice, the Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly, the Honorable Secretary General represented by the Secretary to Cabinet, Honorable Cabinet Ministers, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps present, the representatives of the GIA, EIA, Board and Executive Secretariat, permanent secretaries, heads of government and private sector institutions present, distinguished service chiefs, members of the National Assembly present, the regional governors present, Board of Directors, Gambia International Airlines, the management and staff of all institutions operating within the Banjul International Airlines, the community of Mandinaring, Lamin, Banjulinding, Yundum, and Busumbala, the media, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, all other protocols duly and respectfully observed. Assalamu alaikum. On behalf of the Board of Directors, management and staff of the Gambia International Airlines, I welcome you all to the Banjul International Airport for the inaugural opening of this ultra-modern cargo complex. I am pleased and deeply honored to stand before you as the chairman of the Board of Directors of Banjul Gambia International Airlines to address such a distinguished audience during such an important occasion in the annals of GIA, witnessing another milestone development in the new Gambia under the democratic dispensation led by His Excellency President Adama Barrow. Your Excellency, this trade facilitation project, as alluded earlier, was sponsored by the Enhanced Integrated Framework and coordinated by the Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment in collaboration with the Gambia International Airlines Management, which is one of the key development strategies of the management of GIA to broaden the revenue base of the company. In addition to revenue generation for the company, the project aims to promote socio-economic development of the country through trade facilitation. The facility, when properly marketed, will increase the global awareness of the Gambia and what we produce locally as a country. Therefore, by extension, the facility will provide a strong brand identity for the Gambia brand, which complements government's effort in nation building. It will also provide a favorable indicator amongst the World Bank doing business indicators, thereby ensuring ease of doing business in the Gambia, a critical factor determinant for attracting foreign direct investment and also building investor confidence. In this regard, the board will continue to provide guidance in ensuring that the project is viable and sustainable, Where possible, Your Excellency, partnership would be forged both locally and internationally to enable the facility to generate the direct desired volume of inbound and outbound air cargo. In support of government vision to encourage private sector investments as well as involvement in the economic development of the country, which is a requisite for private sector-led growth economy, GIA highly encourages joint venture partnerships in the form of PPPs, public-private partnership, where such partnership will be mutually beneficial in a win-win situation. Your Excellency, at this juncture, I wish to seize the opportunity to seek the management of the Gambia International Airlines as well as civil aviation authorities to quickly lease the two flanks land opposite to this facility for future expansion. I have no doubt that once we start, we will see volumes increase in terms of both outbound and inbound cargo, so there will be need for expansion, and we should quickly ensure that the land is available when the time comes. On behalf of the board, we wish to thank all stakeholders who make this project possible, starting with His Excellency the President, Mr. Adama Barrow, and his entire cabinet for creating the enabling environment for businesses. We are grateful to our donors, EIF, who provide the funds for this project. Our line Ministry of Works, Transport, Infrastructure, and the Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment, all friends and well-wishers of GIA who have given tremendous support towards the successful completion of this project. I thank you all. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Well said. More coming in the near future for expansions. All those about to embark on this project, we wish you people all the best. And at this juncture, we now call on Mrs. Annette Sawemba, Deputy Executive Director of the AIF Executive Secretariat. Madam, welcome to the podium.
Your Excellency, Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia, Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly, Chief Justice of the Republic of the Gambia, representatives from the Diplomatic Corps, Head of the Civil Service, Ministers of Cabinet, Permanent Secretaries, Director General of the Gambia Civil Aviation Authority, Board Chairman of the Gambia International Airlines, Managing Director, all leaders, all invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed, a very good morning to you. It's a lovely day today, isn't it? I'm very pleased to be here today for the inauguration of the brand new air cargo complex at Banjul International Airport. I'm joined by officials from the Executive Secretariat and the board. We have a representative who was here at the start of this project from the board, Bernadette Fleischer, and she'll be speaking after me, and an official, James Edwin. I would like to thank the government of the Gambia for the hospitality that has been accorded to us since our arrival. It's an honor and privilege to be in Banjul during the festivities of independence and to be able to experience this event as part of a much bigger and important occasion. I speak for the Enhanced Integrated Framework, which has worked closely with the government of the Gambia since 2006 and has supported the establishment of the Cargo Center. The Enhanced Integrated Framework receives funding from 24 donors. So this funding, while it's channeled through the partnership of the Enhanced Integrated Framework, is grants from development partners that are interested in the growth and development of least developed countries. I would therefore like to thank all the donors, all the partners that work with the Enhanced Interpreted Framework for the development of such important projects. This launch is a great step forward to the Gambia and adds to the prospects of greater trade with friends in the region and beyond. International trade is not only a gateway to economic empowerment at home, but also an instrument of wealth creation for future generations. We share the priorities and vision of the government and hope that this positive achievement may be translated into greater economic growth, supporting portions of society that have not yet reaped benefits of international trade. The Gambia is going through a process of momentous transformation. The Enhanced Integrated Framework stands ready to continue our support to the government of the Gambia as it expands to its full potential and carves its space into the international stage and multilateral trading system. The trade outlook is very bright, with active participation at the last WTO Ministerial Conference, and you have been a voice for trade-led economic development and increased foreign investment. Today, the Gambia is clearly open for business, and the EIF looks forward to continuing our contribution to this positive ongoing transformation. We hope to continue to be a part of the changes occurring here and building a reality of sustainable, equitable, and prosperous growth. Excellencies, hereby representing different sectors of Gambian society, we hope that this project will benefit growth, support development, and maintain a positive wave of change. I wish you a very happy anniversary and many more years of progress. Thank you again for the warm welcome and the opportunity of sharing this moment with you. On behalf of the EIF, I thank you very much.
We now call on Mrs. Benedict Fletcher, former AIF board member and policy director, trade negotiations of the Norwegian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Madam, welcome to the podium.
Vice President, Speaker of the National Assembly, ministers, ladies and gentlemen. It is a real pleasure and an honor to be here at this event. 4 years ago, the board of the EIF had one of its main meetings in the Gambia. We were warmly welcomed by our Gambian hosts. Included in that visit were field visits to a laboratory to see EIF sector competitiveness project to increase quality assessment of ground nuts. We were at a launch of an trade information center. But what has really stayed in my memory was the visit to a vacant plot, grassland. It looked like that with a little bit of grass. And where already from 2013, I think it was, one had been working, or even before that, working to start this project. We were shown pictures of what it could look like, but we only saw that plot of land. And we thought, oh dear, how is this going to go? Why are they showing this to us? Because they could have only shown us the pictures that they were thinking of, the plans. On the other hand, having seen that plot of land, I've been thinking of this for 4 years. I've been wondering what is happening here. And it's been fantastic to be able to come visit now, 4 years later, and see that it's concluded. It's not concluded. The building is ready to go. The scanner is there. the cold storage place and everything, but now you're going to start using it. Now is the start, really, of what is going to happen here. Therefore, I know it's difficult to do a project. It's difficult to complete it, but there is completion. And if used fully, we have heard today from everyone talking before me about all the plans and all the hopes for this project. I also note in the greater field of trade policy that the Gambia has presented its notification to the World Trade Organization of how it is planning to fulfill all the trade facilitation obligations, of which this is a practical picture of what is to come. And that is, again, showing that the Gambia is moving forward. And this leads me again to the fact that the Gambia, as Norway, I come from Norway, which is a small country far to the north, how important it is to have an open economy and to make use of the trade opportunities to develop the economy, in your case, for the benefit of all Gambians. So thank you very much for allowing me to be here today. Thank you.
Now call on the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment for our statement, deputizing for the Minister of Trade. Madam, to the podium, please.
Your Excellency, the Vice President and Minister for Women's Affairs, the Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Cabinet Ministers, Honorable Secretary to Cabinet, Deputy Executive Director of the Enhanced Integrated Framework, distinguished delegates from the Enhanced Integrated Framework, Managing Director, Gambia International Airlines and staff, the Managing Director of Gambia Civil Aviation Authority, security chiefs, heads of governments and parastatals. I also want to salute, although in absentia, the Ambassador of Turkey, who has been the donor facilitator for the Enhanced Integrated Framework, heads of departments, members of the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Greetings from the Honorable Minister of Trade, who, due to conflicting national engagements, cannot be here with us today. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor and a personal pleasure to make a statement on the occasion of this launch of the Trade Facilitation Project at the Gambia International Airport. Thank you all for joining us today. Your presence here is not only in joyous celebration of the occasion, but it is an expression of your interest in the advancement of the Gambian economy. This Trade Facilitation Initiative, as we call it, also known as the Cargo Complex, there's a long history to this, but I would just make it short. Why we are calling it the Trade Facilitation Initiative? I think everybody has heard the MD say that EIF is not in the habit of funding infrastructure. Although the purpose of EIF is to help least developed countries to address the supply side constraints of trade. Therefore, we in the Gambia had to look at a way of convincing the donors that it is not infrastructure, but rather a trade facilitation project. And I think we have been successful. Thus, the name that we have given it today, Trade Facilitation Cargo Complex. The Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration is indeed very close to this project. We have worked closely with sectors and development partners to develop to support the development of the trade-related infrastructure in the Gambia. As focal point of the EIF, it therefore gives me great joy to see it materialize from planning stages to its completion. I would sincerely like to thank the AIF Secretariat for the support through all the stages of the project. From the development of the project document, the provision of financing resources, and the interest they have shown to ensure this project is successfully implemented. I would also like to thank the staff of the Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration, and Employment. They have worked tirelessly to make sure that this project is indeed completed and materialized. And by extension, I want to also thank the former EIF coordinator, Mr. Banjul, who has been with us through and through. The overall objective of the cargo complex, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, is to increase national participation in international trade by stimulating both the local and national economy and contributing to improved livelihoods in tourism, horticulture, and the fisheries subsectors. Through this cargo complex, trade facilitation in the Gambia will not only be enhanced by increasing capacity at GIA and Banjul International Airport, but will directly enable small and medium-sized exporters to access services of GIA at competitive rates. This project will also help to ensure that for the first time, GIA will be able to scan large pallets of goods, and this will help ensure more efficient and effective services, as the cost of exports for small and medium-sized operators will be significantly reduced. The Ministry of Trade will continue to support GIA, GCAA to ensure the sustainability of the impact of this complex. We will support GIA initiatives to link up with other international airlines to provide efficient export services in the horticulture, fisheries, and tourism industries. Mr. Chairman, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, one of the biggest benefits of this particular complex is that it will enable GIA and its stakeholders to meet international safety and security standards in the handling of cargo. I thus strongly believe that with this complex, the Gambia will be able to attract other international airlines, particularly for the transportation of cargo. I would like to call on our key stakeholders, particularly government institutions, to support GIA and the Gambia Civil Aviation in their efforts to improve the competitiveness of the Banjul International Airport and making it a hub for trade in the sub-region. I'm also calling on the private sector, especially smallholder exporters and importers of food-related products, to utilize the services of the complex. GIA now has the capacity to be able to store significant quantities of perishable and non-perishable goods in accordance with international standards and best practices. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot conclude without emphasizing our gratitude for the support that AIF has continued to provide to the Gambia, not just in the building capacity to trade and trade-related institutions, exporters and smallholder businesses, but also in improving and providing equipment and hard infrastructure to help address some of the development challenges of our country. I would therefore like to thank the Secretariat and donors through the Executive Director, Madam Annette, for the close collaboration with the Ministry of Trade. We will continue to work closely with the AIF in our efforts to strengthen our collaboration with development partners in support of trade capacity development in the Gambia. Chairman, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, finally, let me conclude by emphasizing the need for all stakeholders to work together to ensure the successful utilization of this facility, which will no doubt support the development of trade in the Gambia. I thank you all for your kind attention. Have a good celebration.
Thank you very much, Madam Barry, Permanent Secretary, Minister of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment. This juncture, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call on the Minister of Transport, Works and Infrastructure to the podium. Welcome to you, sir.
Your Excellency, Aja Fatoumatta Jallow-Tambajang, Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia, the Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, Honorable Cabinet members and colleagues, the representatives of the EIF, that is the Enhanced Integrated Framework Board and Executive Secretariat, permanent secretaries and heads of institutions present, service chiefs, members of the National Assembly, the regional governors who are here, board of directors, management and staff of all the institutions operating at BIA, which is the Banjul International Airport, the community of Mandinari, Lamin, Banjulunding, Yundum, and Musubala, on the behalf of the Ministry of Transport, Works and Infrastructure, Board of Directors, Management and Staff of the Gambia Civil Aviation Authority and the Gambia International Airlines, I am delighted to welcome you all to this inaugural ceremony of the GIA Cargo Complex. I would maybe have to add the name Intertrade, as the Permanent Secretary of Trade just said, Cargo Complex. Now, I remember about a year ago, this was one of the first projects when I was appointed as a minister to visit. And at that time, I realized the potential and really hoped that it would be completed. And I'm glad that I am here to witness that this has happened. The cargo complex is a joint venture project under the Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment, and the Ministry of Transport, Works and Infrastructure. And I'm also glad that the Permanent Secretary of Trade mentioned the need to cooperate and teamwork. In fact, this is an example of teamwork, and I hope it continues in the stages of the operations and management of this complex. The project, as was mentioned a few times, was funded by the EU through the EIF arm, and I am told that it started around 2015. The project is both consistent with and timely in the implementation of our National Development Plan, which was recently launched, and our National Transport Policy, which was recently finalized. In line with the NDP and the NTP, the complex is intended to expand the services of the Banjul International Airport to now include exportation, importation as well, of agricultural and fisheries products, thus increasing trade activities, which is positive, which is going to be positive for the economy at large, and it is going to be beneficial to the concerned communities who are fully represented here. Your Excellencies, the Minister of Transport, Works and Infrastructure and the Minister of Trade are both determined through our partnership to turn the Banjul International Airport not only into a passenger travel hub, but also a trading hub in the region. And the way we do it, or we are going to do this, is by providing the necessary infrastructure and the necessary services. This complex is a step in that direction. I can assure you that. We note that a significant volume of our export cargo is presently lifted from Dakar, leaving a small balance for the BIA to handle. This will change with the commissioning of this complex. It will also justify air freighters to come to this airport to uplift shipments to outside destinations. I am confident that the GIA and the GCAA will take immediate initiatives, if not already, to lure freighters into the Banjul International Airport and to engage the necessary partnerships for a national carrier, as was mentioned by the MD of GCAA. Your Excellencies, we are aware that flight operations are capital intensive. Also, that their sustainability depends on a number of passengers and cargo, on the number of passengers and cargo in the market. Both factors, however, can be generated from our management capacity, from our marketing skills, and from the use of our strategic location for flights in the region and those to America, Europe, Middle East, and Asia. The cargo complex, as you can see, is a prefabricated structure, and the contract for its erection and installation works was won by a local contractor, as was mentioned, Torodo Builders of Sheikh Omar Jigo, in partnership with a foreign firm. The Ministry of Transport, Works and Infrastructure provided technical backup to the project implementation unit, which included some of the airport engineers working closely with the international consultants as a way of enabling technology transfer. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellency, sustainability of the project is our primary concern. I am sure GIA has already put in place adequate measures to ensure that the complex does not end up as a white elephant. The ministry will provide all the necessary support. Finally, may I take this opportunity to thank all the staff of GIA, the Ministry of Trade, the Ministry of Transport, Works and Infrastructure, the GCAA, and of course the EU/AIF, and all stakeholders for making this project a reality. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. At this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, before inviting Her Excellency the Vice President to the podium, we like to present to you the nation's pride, Gambia's cultural ambassador, our UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador, no one other than Jelaba Kuyat and the Kumere Band. They just gave us 3 minutes, and then the Vice President will be welcome to the podium.
Gambia International Airlines. Niko fufuro ke kodole pandi GIA Banjul pasada. Mendo rakreda kufahamda ke bole pasa katambidona. Muna munda dilodi GIA le dam tambira famadadi. GIA wana Gambia famadadi ali na nyurubaza la minjauna na nyumbaya GIA babada allo nyanyada Gambia Airport dodo Airport la ground handling imaja batol le bulu munda hijita ta kujima linda kujima abatol le bulu mona senenya pleno ludo anina jinya obatol le bulu Alimbara alo nyanyada Madima, Thank you.
We have now come to the moment we've all been waiting for. Can you please join me in giving Her Excellency, the Vice President, a big round of applause as we welcome her on stage. Welcome to you, Madam.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Honorable Cabinet Ministers, Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly, representatives of the Executive Secretariat of IAF and WTO, members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, donor representatives, His Excellency in absentia, Ambassador of Turkey and donor facilitator, representatives of the private sector, members of the media fraternity, communities of West Coast Radio, namely Busumbala, Yundum, Farato, etc. Members of the service security, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I would like to apologize for His Excellency Adama Barrow, President Adama Barrow, who would have loved to be here today, but due to other prior to engagements, official engagements, he is unable to be with you here today. I would therefore have the honor and pleasure to read his statement. It reads, "It gives me great pleasure to deliver this statement to officially open the trade facilitation project known as the Airport Cargo Complex. I'm aware that this complex is supported by the Enhanced Integrated Framework, which has been in partnership with the government of the Gambia since 2009, with the aim of bringing together partners and resources to support the harnessing of trade for inclusive growth and sustained development. My government, recognizing the support that the EIF has brought to the country through the Ministry of Trade and all trade-related institutions. We are grateful for this initiative for providing financial and technical support to build trade facilitation through the framework of a very prominent institution, which is the Gambia International Airlines, in partnership with CCIA. I thank the leaders for this vision and with the support of the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure with other private sector related institutions. I also salute the constructors, namely the Torodo builders under Sheikh Omar Jigo, and also the foreign partner. I'm very happy about the establishment of this cargo complex and would also like to recognize the hard work of all stakeholders involved in its realization. I believe that all the actors come together and continue to work assiduously, this complex could play a contributing role in supporting the private sector development, particularly small-scale investors, women, and aspiring young entrepreneurs. One of the major challenges we are facing in the Gambia, as has been highlighted by previous speakers, are trade facilitation projects or facility. This cargo complex, therefore, which is equipped with light scanners to reduce the processing time of clearing goods and a cold room to preserve preservable goods to improve the quality of Gambian exports for greater international markets, will play an important role in ensuring that the Gambia repositions itself in trade and trade investments. This initiative has the potential to improve trade facilitation and increase logistic infrastructure and services at the Banjul International Airport through improved institutional arrangements, human capacity building, and enhancement of support services. The project, as previous speakers have said, would also ensure transparent, secured, and competitive airport services to businesses, including young Gambians in the diaspora willing to invest in the Gambia. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this project at GIA will also better able to reposition the Gambia in terms of safety and security standards in handling of cargo and passenger traffics, and will be able to increase the number of airlines serving and accepting cargo from the Gambia. The project would also improve the overall image of the Gambia, positioning the country as an attractive freight cargo hub in the sub-region, therefore contributing to future economic development and prosperity. It is envisaged that the results of the project will stimulate both local and national economy, hence contribute to improved livelihoods in the horticultural and fisheries export subsectors. This is the end of the statement. However, I would like to convey to His Excellency the President the very good recommendations that have been made by the CCIA and GIA in terms of ensuring or helping to have a homegrown airline facility that would increase the sustainability of this trade facilitation project. I think this is a very important element in trade and investment, and I would like to inform this gathering that the government is working assiduously to ensure that by the end or middle or at any stage of its governance, it will be able to attract a homegrown airline that will not only champion the cause of the Gambia in trade and investment in the sub-region, but also open markets in the global economy. We know that the economy in the Gambia cannot grow by itself. It is interdependent, and given that the Gambia doesn't have all the raw materials, it would have to work in hand with the sub-region and the global market in order to ensure that there is strategic partnerships in not only providing the products and services, but also enhancing knowledge sharing, information, communication technology. On that note, on my own humble behalf, I thank you so much, because this facility is not only going to contribute particularly to entrepreneurs, but specifically to women who have been really working so hard in the horticulture, animal husbandry, and other services, yet they are never able to realize their potentials in terms of exporting and importing. We do hope that the women can now have the core rooms, use the core rooms for their horticultural produce, and they can also import other services that they need in the sub-region. So on that note, on behalf of the Gambian women, I would like to pray that this facility brings in more facilities in GIA and CCA, and also the Ministry of Trade and Industry, Ministry of Works and Infrastructure, and also the Gambia at large. God bless all of us. May Allah continue to guide us and protect us as a nation. May Allah help those donors who are going out to look for funding in the name of the Gambia, be given more funds to look for Gambia. For EIF, special thanks, because we know that coming from a donor community, that many donors are not usually into infrastructural development. But because Gambia is stable, because we are an emerging democracy, because we have been patient for 22 years and have been able to bring our people back, you are ready to give us some exception. So on behalf of the government of His Excellency the President, the government of the Gambia, including the people of the Gambia, we thank EIF, and we would like you to convey to your operators, to your donors, that we will make this facility a model in Africa. And in terms of sustainability also, I'm happy that our able Minister of Works and Infrastructure has given his commitment to provide all the infrastructural support in terms of post-project operations. That is most important. It is not only a project. The project will remain, can become an elephant, white elephant, if the sustainability aspect is not given. And fundamentally, we also like to know and appreciate that this project has been nationally driven, hence there is hope that it will be sustained by not only the operators, by the institutions, but also it will create opportunities, job employment opportunities for the communities around this area. Thank you so much. God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Brother Ashish. These certificates just a token appreciation of the government's effort and support in the drive to ensure the Gambia International Airlines is a viable institution, a company that will immensely add to the socio-economic development of this country. And the certificate reads, to His Excellency President Adama Barrow, for his exemplary excellent leadership and restoration of macroeconomic stability in the country. Received on behalf of His Excellency the President, the Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia. Man. The Board of Directors, Management of GIA, we also recognize your contributions and your support for the development of GIA in its mandate as an international air cargo, international airline agency for representing the economic development of this country. We thank you very much for your support.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you all for gracing this special occasion. My special thanks goes to the management and staff of Gambia International Airlines for giving me the opportunity to moderate this event. My special thanks goes to the Executive Organizing Committee for all the indefatigable effort in making this event a success, and everyone who contributed in no small measure towards the actualization of this auspicious event. I thank you all for gracing this great occasion. Thank you once again. We wish you all the best. At this juncture, I'm now calling on the Managing Director of Gambia International Airlines, the Board Chairman, to please make the Vice President for a conducted tour and the official cutting of the ribbon to grace this cargo complex open.
GIA, Gambia International Airlines. Nico Fufuro e con le palli, GIA, meglio le passate. Mendo rakreda, Bahamda. Che non le fasa cataminuta le dam cambia fondani GIA wala cambia fondani ale na nyurubaza la minjaula na nyindaya GIA allo nyanyada allo nyanyada Gambia Airport Airport la ground handling imaja batol le bulu munda hijita ta kujima linda kujima abatol le bulu mona se lenya pleno ludo anina jinya o batol le bulu